Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Central Oregon. I'm Amy Brock, and I'm the Director of Religious Exploration for Children and Youth. We still have some friends coming in, and we have some seats that are closer to the front. We're going to be doing some things together in this space up here, so I invite you to find your way to the front if you haven't found a seat yet, so that you can participate with us today. Today is a very special day that only happens a few times throughout the year. We are all going to explore together today. And this month we have been thinking about listening and how we can listen to ourselves and how we can listen to nature and how we can listen to each other. And so today we have an all-ages service where our young people stay with us. If you have really little people, our nursery is open for kids who are 4 and under. But everybody else is going to stay here today, and we invite you to bring your whole self into this space. We have some flexible seating with some bolsters over here and some little chairs down here. So if your young people want to move around throughout the service today, that's fine, and we're going to have some opportunities for them to do that as well. So one of the things that you might not know if you're new or if you usually go to RE with me is that we do all kinds of different things in this space each week. And we do all kinds of different things because we're all different. It would be really boring if we were all the same. But because we're different and we all appreciate different things, there might be some things that we do today that just aren't your favorite. They're just not your cup of tea. It's not exactly what you came here for, and that's okay. This month is the perfect time to think about how we can listen. And so if one of those spaces comes up where you're like, this is not exactly my favorite thing today, I invite you to take that time to listen to yourself. And you'd be surprised what happens when you start to listen to yourself. Maybe you remember where you put those socks. Maybe you remember that thing that was supposed to go on your grocery list. Maybe it's a time for you to figure out that math problem. So I invite you to make space today to be with yourself, to be with us, and to explore all of the things that you connect with here today. One of the things that's important to think about when we talk about listening is how do we do that? And so in RE, we always talk about how we can't listen if we're talking at the same time. And so we're going to do that today too. We're going to have one person talking at a time for all of the things that we do together. And hopefully that will make it easy for everyone to hear. When you came in, you should have gotten a paper flame, and a crayon. If you didn't, maybe we can get one to you at some point. You're invited to color that however you want, and we'll be doing something with them later today. So let us now enter into a time of listening to one another today. And we're going to start that by listening to a song from the house band, followed by announcements from Shayla. What's that
Good morning. I'm Chayla Sloper, the Congregational Life Facilitator. Hopefully you all received a skyline. That's going to be your walk-away reminder of what's happening in the congregation this week. And I also do want to welcome those who are on Zoom as well as everyone who is here today. Friday night, we had the auction kickoff, and I want to thank the auction committee and the fun team for really a fabulous event. It was, the atmosphere was quite celebratory to launch the auction. And for those of you who have not gone to the auction login, we end bidding at 5 p.m. today. I was kind of late. I just logged on this morning and I missed the boat on a couple things. So the thing is, you'll want to go to the website and bid on auction items. A special thanks to Randy and Dick, who provided entertainment. We got a foretaste of the concert from Joel and David, and then Nicole Reeves had her UUFCO debut and knocked it out of the park. It was just amazing. So. I'm still looking for anyone who might be interested in taking on the adventure of hosting a Thanksgiving potluck here. And so if that appeals to you, please talk to me and we'll make that possible for you. Now, next Saturday is the Fall Women's Gathering, and there's been a little tumble of plans for how we will shape the day. Jessie Reeder is going to be focusing the day on deep listening and telling our stories. She has some really valuable things to teach us about how to listen deeply. So there is a sign up at the kiosk, and there is a sign up in the ACE. Even if it's a smaller group, I think it'll be a really lovely time to get together. So that'll be next Saturday at 9 in the morning. The following Tuesday, on the 29th, the Safety and Security Committee wants you to know that we'll be offering a CPR class and other sorts of emergency interventions. So everyone is welcome to come. We especially hope that ushers and greeters will attend that. That'll be 5:30 on Tuesday the 29th. The last thing I just want to share is that Reverend Scott will be teaching his Claiming Your Own Theology class. So if you have been in limbo, wondering what you believe, if you don't have the beliefs of your previous years, then come to his class. There'll be information about that in the ACE this week as well. So blessings on your day.
I think we should light a chalice together. So if you are young or young at heart and you're going to participate in our Time for All Ages on the rug, I invite you to come up now and we will do the chalice lighting together. Does anybody want to light the chalice? Come on up, come on. We're gonna say it together. And do our same one that we do every week. We can all stand around it. I hope I can remember our chalice lighting today. All right, are you ready? Okay. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the loving heart. This is the church of helping hands. Together we care for ourselves and everyone on earth. Let's go. Just spirit away.
Spirit of life,
I can't tell this story by myself today, so I'm gonna need some friends to come and be in this space with me. We got one friend. Do we have other friends? I have a lot of friends. This is how many friends we could have. One friend. You don't have to be an RE. You could be someone that normally stays in this space. One friend, two friends, three friends, four friends. Who else wants to come? Well, in that case, I need someone. Will you be, do you know what a bear says? Yeah? Do you think you could be a bear? Okay, I'll let you be the bear. Would you come sit with me and be the bear? Okay. Do you want to sit on this side or this side? Okay, that works? All right. And then, so our story today has a bear, and our bear needs some friends. So I need someone to be, who would like to be the elephant? Somebody needs to be the elephant. Do you want to be the elephant? Absolutely. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. All right, so we have elephant. Do you want to put it on? And let's see, who else do we have here? Who wants to be the monkey? I'm going to let Abby be the monkey. All right, let's see. Who wants to be the raccoon? I'm gonna let Quincy be the raccoon. All right, and then this kind of looks like a tiger. Gray, will you be the tiger? All right. Quite a few friends. All right, let's find one more. Carmise, will you be the lion? All right, I think everybody's got one. You don't have to wear it if you don't want to. You could just hold it. Okay, but we have our bear, and we have our bear friends, and now we have to tell a story about our bear. All right, and if you want to do some growling, that would be cool. Okay, some sound effects. Nice, okay. Once upon a time, there was a bear. Growl! Not just any bear, but a bear with, our bear has spaceship Crocs and a green shirt. And then the bear had some friends. The bear had a tiger friend, and a raccoon friend, and a monkey friend, and a lion friend, and elephant friend. So many friends. Bear was having a problem, though. Bear had a big feeling, and he didn't quite know what to call this feeling. So he decided to ask his friends. And the friends said, what do you think your feeling feels like? And Bear said, well, it kind of feels like when you get a new toy and it breaks on the first day. It is a really big feeling. Does anybody have any ideas about what that feeling might be? Meow. Okay, maybe that's a feeling. What do you think? Upset. He might be upset. Okay. Maybe sad. So they asked him to tell us more about his feeling. And then Bear said, well, it's kind of like when you wait for your best friend to sit with you, but then they go sit with someone else. Oh, what do we think? Still sad or upset, or maybe something else? Yeah. Disappointed. Maybe sad and upset and disappointed. Oh my goodness. What does that sound like? Do you have any sad or disappointed friends? That sounds like a very sad and disappointed and upset bear. Okay. Bear's friends thought that they might be able to cheer him up, so they asked him if he wanted to come play. But Bear wasn't feeling so good. So what do you think Bear said? Said growl. What do you think he meant? Probably meant no. Yeah. So his friends tried to help him. They tried to guess what was wrong with him. They asked him things like, do you have a headache?
Growl.
What about a stomachache?
Growl.
Do you have a bee sting in your ear?
Growl.
What about a splinter in your paw?
Growl.
Do you have stinky feet?
Growl.
None of these things. And the bear said no to all of these things. And then Bear said, I think maybe I have a lot of sads. Phew, said his friends. Is that all? They thought it was something serious. But being sad is no big deal at all. And his friends knew just what to do. What do you think Bear should do? He could express his feelings by growling. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, maybe he could go and do some jumping. That might help. You could do some singing, yeah. All kinds of ideas about things that Bear should do. But you know what Bear said? Bear said, I already tried all those things, and none of them worked. His friends were kind of getting frustrated. They said, this is going to be so much harder than we thought. How were they going to fix their bear friend? And then they had an idea. Who likes knock-knock jokes? Is anybody really good at figuring out knock-knock jokes? Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. So his friend said, knock, knock, and Bear said, who's there? And they said, boo. Boo-hoo, asked Bear. And they said, don't cry, it's just a joke. And everyone laughed and thought it was really funny, except Bear, because Bear was still sad. Well, the friends didn't know what to do, so they decided to go home and ask their grown-ups how they could help Bear. And so they decided to ask their grown-ups to look where all the answers can be found. Where do you think that might be? Where can we find all the answers about things? From a magic tree, maybe? Okay. Any other ideas about where we can find all the things, one source with all the information? I think they meant the internet. So they went online and they found some ideas to help their sad friends, with their grown-ups helping them, of course. And it said that they should find inner peace. What does it mean to find inner peace? How would Bear do that? Yeah, maybe express his feelings. Could sing a song, I don't know. Maybe do some humming. And then they found something that said that he should eat healthy foods. What are healthy foods? What kind of healthy foods would a bear eat? Maybe some like salmon and berries and nuts and, yeah, maybe bananas. They might, I don't know. Mac and cheese, okay. Pizza. That is a really hungry bear, you know. Maybe he's a hangry bear. We don't know. Hungry, hangry bear. All right. But Bear was still not feeling good, so they said, maybe you should get a hobby. What are hobbies? What kind of hobbies should they get? A digging hobby? Yeah, maybe he could go dig outside. That might be a good idea. Maybe he could learn to fly a kite. Yeah. And then they said, well, maybe you should try some new exercises. What are your favorite kinds of exercises? Jumping jacks, okay. And pull-ups, all right. That might help Bear feel better, yeah? But Bear was still sad. So they brought Bear some art supplies, and they asked Bear to color a picture. And so Bear colored and colored and scribbled and scribbled. And then when his friends looked at the picture, they said it was interesting. It had squiggles and lines that looked like spiders and monsters. It was super scary and not very happy. Said his friends, you must not be doing it right, because the internet is never wrong. So Bear tried again. This time he went fishing, and he tried some new honey, and he listened to some loud music, and he took a nap, but he still didn't feel any better. Oh my goodness, what should we do now to help Bear? Does anybody have any ideas? Do you have any ideas? No. Well, they couldn't think of any ideas, so they yelled, fine, we don't know how to help you. This is just too hard. We guess that we'll just have to sit here all day and do nothing since you're so sad. And that's what they did. They sat, and they sat, and they sat until Bear said, what do you think he said? Bear said, thanks everyone, I feel a little better. What, said his friends? They were so surprised. They didn't really do anything but sit with Bear, but it made Bear feel better. They said, we don't really know how we helped you, Bear, but we're happy that you feel better, and we're happy that we are your friends. Isn't that so silly? Sometimes we think all the things that we need to do something, and we really don't need to do anything at all, but just be. Is there any way that a friend has ever helped you? I had a friend help me clean up one time, and that was really nice.
I had somebody give me this bear yesterday.
Somebody gave you a bear? Oh,
Walking, I found it in the thing, except I don't know who got it.
that's cool. Somebody gave us a gift. Any other ways that your friends have helped you? What about when you were sad? Anything that people did to like make you feel better when you were sad?
At a new skill, we went to the fun one, and someone slipped and I helped them out.
Oh, that's so nice. If you went to, did you say a school? Oh, went to a new school and somebody tripped and then they were helped out. That's so nice. So we can listen to our friends, listen to ourselves, and help each other. Has anybody out here ever felt sad before? Anybody? Can you show me? Oh, we have a couple people who have been sad before. Okay. Everybody experiences sad feelings sometimes. When might we feel some sad things? What might make us feel sad? If our doggy ran away, yeah. Or maybe we moved to a new place, like going to a new school, yeah. Or we join a new team. Or maybe we get a new friend or a sibling, and that kind of changes things in our relationships. Or maybe a pet dies, or they run away. Lots of things can make us feel sad. But the cool thing is that we don't ever have to be sad by ourselves. We always have friends around us, and we can tell them how we want support when we're sad, or we can just be together and figure that out in that space. All right, so we have an interesting time together today. We're not leaving. You guys get to stay with me the whole time. I'm so excited. So we're going to stay right here. You can hold on to your animal masks, or you can take them off. Thank you so much, Chris, for being our bear. Can we give Chris? Yeah. All right, cool. Thank you, Bear. All right. So you're going to stay here with me today. We're about to learn a new song together. Our song has some sounds at the end of it that I'm hoping that you can help me with. Who can tell me what water sounds like? Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. So at the end of the song, we get to practice our whooshing sounds. Whoosh. All right, let's learn our song together today.
This is one for everybody, actually. You might recognize it from Sweet Honey in the Rock called Breaths. And it goes like this. We'll sing it along, and then we hope you can join us as well. Here we go. Listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the water. All right, now kids, ready? Listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the water. Everybody. One more time. Listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the water. Thanks, everybody.
I really enjoyed hearing all of those water sounds with you all. So we're going to enter into a fun meditation time together. So if you're in your seat, you can make yourself comfortable, or you can use our flexible seating up here if you want to find a new seat. If you're here with me, we're going to meditate together. So that means that you can sit up, or you can lay down, or you can sit in a chair. It's really important while we're meditating, though, to make sure that we are not touching our friends. So make sure that your body is not going to touch anyone. And then you have the option to close your eyes or to look at something that will help you focus, like maybe a tree, or maybe a light, or maybe your shoes, whatever you'd like to look at, or close your eyes. And we will meditate together, all right? I have some friends I'm waiting to find their meditation spaces. Are you ready? Okay. I invite you to imagine your favorite water source. Maybe it's a waterfall, or a stream, or the ocean. Maybe it's a trickle of water coming from a fountain. And when you imagine that water, I invite you to think about how it makes you feel when you hear it. So if it's like big rushing water, maybe we feel excited inside. If it's trickling water or calm water, maybe our bodies feel calm. I invite you just to notice that. And as you're noticing that, think about what else you might see if you're with your favorite water source. Maybe there are birds around if you're at the ocean. Maybe there are ants crawling on a log if you're at the waterfall. I don't know. Maybe there's fish jumping out of the water. And when you've got your vision of what it's like to be there with the water, with the animals and the creatures and all the things that are growing in that space, we're just going to sit and imagine that we're there. It's really cool because we'll all be in different spaces, but we're in the same space together here. I'm going to get really quiet. We're going to be super quiet because we're all in our different magical spaces. And in just a moment, after we're quiet for a little bit, Noreen's going to ring the bell and bring us out of our meditation. All right, so let's be with our water and be together. Thank you for meditating with me. We're moving into our next activity together today. We don't always do this when we go to RE. Sometimes we do, but I know the grown-ups do it in this space each week. We are going to share our joys and our sorrows and our things that we are thankful for. So does anybody have anything that they are joyful for? What's something joyful? It makes your heart feel happy. It makes you feel excited. What's something that would make you feel joyful right now? Something happened this week that made you feel happy? Paris? Did you watch a movie about Paris? Or did you go to Paris? Oh, okay. Cool. What's in your room? I saw a cute puppy that was running at the park yesterday, and that gave me a lot of joy. Anything else? I'm joyful to be here with you in this space today. Our bear is joyful to be with us in this space today, too. Did anybody have anything kind of sad that happened this week that you want to tell us about? You can tell your friend next to you, or you can tell me, and I will tell everybody in this space so that we can hold that with you. 2 hermit crabs died. Oh, that is sad. Mm-hmm. Anything else happen that was kind of sad this week? Okay, that's okay. Sometimes we have really happy weeks, sometimes we have really sad weeks, sometimes it's both. Is there anything that you're really thankful about today? We're thankful to be alive. That's a great thing to be thankful for. Anything else? I'm really thankful for friends that have listening ears. It's really fun. All right. Thankful to have glasses and be a bear at the same time. Very cool. All right, we will close our joys and sorrows with my friends here, and you all can choose to find a seat here or go back to your grown-ups, and then we're going to do the grown-ups' joys and sorrows and gratitudes.
Good morning. I'm Greg Byrne, a member of the pastoral care team. Sharing our joys and sorrows and gratitudes is one of the ways we fulfill our covenant, that is, to help one another. As David Brooks has written, the essential moral act is casting a just and loving attention on other people. This is the kind of attention that asks, "What are you going through?" and cares about the answer. I have 3 written ones this morning. If you have an unspoken joy or sorrow in your heart, please feel free to light a candle on the side of the sanctuary. From Lynn Ekstrom, this is for the gratitude of great joy for everyone who made the UUville auction so much fun. Randy and Nicole, you should take your show on the road. Thank you. From Chayla, the flowers on the chalice table are in honor and with heartfelt gratitude for Murshid Samuel L. Lewis, the originator of the Dances of Universal Peace. It was Sam's birthday, October 18th. From Jenny McKee, much gratitude and thanks to Trinity Episcopal for deciding to continue hosting Family Kitchen at their church. 20,000 meals a month. And if you see someone lighting a candle today at coffee hour, you might go up to them and say, "How you doing?"
We are, therefore we love. We love, therefore we are. May we be humble before the wonder of what we dare to create. We will now take the morning's offering, and the house band has a song.
feeling good, feeling fine. Oh, baby, let the music play.
Like a lazy flowing river, surrounding castles in the sky. And the crowd is growing bigger. Listen to the happy sounds, and I've got to let them fly. Listen to the music. Listen to the music.
We can be better listeners. And so before I start talking, I want to make sure that everybody can see me and hear me. We're in kind of like a weird configuration. Do you want us to come forward? We need to come forward so people can see us. Okay. A lot of people up here moving around. Sometimes we have to trade places. All right, so it's really good to be together and to think about how we can show up for each other. And there are different traditions that have different things that they do to either celebrate changing of the seasons, to celebrate when someone has died, or just to hold space for each other. And so I thought we could look at some of those today and see if we can recognize maybe some things that a few of them have in common. And then we can think about maybe how we want to show up for ourselves or our friends better. So we'll see what we learned together today. Our first exploration is a video of Dia de los Muertos. So we're going to watch that together now.
Dia de Muertos, Day of the Dead. First of all, Day of the Dead has nothing to do with Halloween. Day of the Dead, or Dia de Muertos, is a national tradition in Mexico that celebrates the lives of those who have passed on. Day of the Dead is celebrated in Mexico and in other parts of Latin America and the world on the 1st and 2nd of November every year. Simply put, Day of the Dead honors those who have passed on by their loved ones. As part of the Day of the Dead celebration, people bring flowers, candles, photos, and the favorite foods of the dead to the cemetery. People will also dress in elaborate, colorful costumes, often painting their faces white like a skull or calavera. People decorate altars in their homes with offerings, or ofrendas, like papel picado, marigolds, candles, food and sugar skulls, to welcome home the souls of the dead. Monarch butterflies start to appear in Mexico at the same time as Day of the Dead every year, or the beginning of November. It is believed that the souls of the dead travel on the wings of the butterflies to visit loved ones. Pan de muerto, bread of the dead, or pan dulce, sweet bread, and calaveras de azúcar, sugar skulls, are very popular offerings or ofrendas on the altars. Pan de muerto, bread of the dead, is filled with symbolism. The round shape represents the circle of life and death, The ball on the top represents the skull of the deceased, and the pieces that lay across the top represent their bones. Sugar skulls, calaveras de azúcar, represent a departed soul and are used as an offering or ofrenda to honor the return of a spirit. Colorful papel picado is used to decorate the altars. The holes in the paper allow for the souls of the dead to travel through and visit, and the delicate paper represents the fragility of life. You'll see marigolds everywhere during Day of the Dead celebrations. The fragrance and bright color of the marigolds are thought to attract the souls of the dead to the altars. Dia de Muertos is a festive celebration of life.
I really appreciate how people who celebrate Day of the Dead make space to be with their loved ones each year. I think it's a great way to stay connected to those that are near and maybe far away. I am going to ask some questions. We have some interviewees up here who offered to share from their traditions today, so we're going to learn from them a little bit. First, we have Diane Darling, and Diane is a member of the Jewish religion. And so I was wondering, Diane, if you could tell us if there's anything that people in your religion do to help each other or to be kind to each other when someone dies in your religion.
Yes, as a matter of fact, there is. In my religion, we do something called sitting Shiva. And sitting Shiva means when someone in a loved one's family dies, the family, the immediate family mostly, stays home for a period of time, and they sit together and are there together to support each other and feel sad together. Sometimes if the togetherness gets to be too much, they can go off into their own room. They don't have to be surrounded by people all the time. Whatever is comfortable for you is what happens. Then they also invite their friends and family over, and that creates community, and those people sit around and they talk about the stories that they experienced with the person who died, so as to keep the memories alive of that lovely person. Some important things to know are, excuse me, the people who are sad are called mourners, and that's probably true across all faiths and all religions. Sitting means staying home, so when we sit Shiva, we stay home for a while after someone special dies. Shiva means 7 days. This is a special time to remember that person that you loved so much. And if 7 days is too much and not everybody can stay together that amount of time, they shorten it to whatever works for the people. At the funeral, the rabbi will place a black ribbon that looks like this. It's got a circle at the top and a ribbon coming down on the clothing of the people closest to the person that died. And the rabbi will tear a little tear at the bottom to signify a broken heart. And when those people wear that ribbon for 7 days while they are in the Shiva period, and when they go out into the world, it's kind of like a signal of, treat me gentle, I'm sad, I'm in mourning. So it's a way to express that to the greater community. Often a rabbi or a cantor will come over to that sitting Shiva, especially on the first night. It always happens after sundown, pretty sure of that. And they will say a mourner's prayer called the Kaddish, and that is a prayer that makes people who have studied that prayer for years and years and years feel comfortable. It brings them back to their religion, their relationship with a higher power, and it's comforting. Another thing that makes us feel better when we're sad, and I'm sure everybody can relate to this, is we eat a lot of food at a Shiva. In the Jewish religion, we tend to eat lots and lots of deli food, delicatessen foods like bagels and cream cheese and turkey or roast beef sandwiches, corned beef sandwiches, typically thought of as Jewish food, but I don't know if the whole world sees it that way. And lots of baked sweet goods. So it's traditional when you are a friend or a friend coming to the Shiva that you bring baked goods because it expresses your sweetness and your caring for the family. And the last thing to know, two more things. One of the last things to know is that when you say goodbye to the person whose person has died, you can say to them, may their memory be a blessing, because that lets them know that you will never forget that person, and it makes them feel really good and warm inside. And then a year later, we come together for what is called the Yahrzeit and go back to the cemetery, and the headstone, gravestone, is unveiled, and it's kind of like the marking of the period of mourning is coming to an end. That doesn't mean that you're not still sad. You know, sadness goes on for however long that you need to, but it's kind of an official marking in the religion.
Thank you for sharing that. Sure. Is there anything when you're feeling sad that makes you feel better from your friends or your family?
Being in community, for sure. As evidenced by recently, my sister died, and it was really important for me to be here, surrounded by community and my friends, and this all took place in LA before I came back, and it was really important to be with those people who loved her and could tell funny stories and admirable stories. So yeah.
Sounds like being in community is really important.
Yes.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. We also have Noreen Halberstadt with us today. Noreen is a Unitarian Universalist, and she's going to tell us a little bit about how she likes to celebrate.
So, Unitarian Universalism is made up of people who all celebrate and help each other differently. So we don't have one way to do it. But the interesting thing is many of the things I would think we would do are done formally with other religions. And so we have that in common with people everywhere. And that's the thing about listening, is if you're too busy talking, you don't get to hear these stories and find these commonalities to give us a place to connect. I would say something that we try to do here is we try to give as well as receive. Because if you're a giver and you're always giving and you're not receiving, then those people trying to give to you are falling with lack. They don't have anybody to give to then. So it's a gift for you to receive as well as it is a gift for you to give. And I think we need to remember to practice receiving, because it's hard for some of us to receive.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's important to keep our hearts open to receiving goodness from other people, kind of like Bear did in our story when he let his friends sit with him when he was sad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they didn't give up. They kept working with
They
him.
kept going.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that helps you when you're feeling sad?
Yeah. So about 5 years ago, my husband died, and I found that the people who were helping me, my friends and my family, would feel into the situation. They would listen without words to see if it was a time that I really wanted to talk deep about those things, or if I just wanted to be in life normally and go out to lunch and go for a walk and do regular things so that it wasn't always on my mind about the fact that he died. So I would say, yeah, for people to actually listen to maybe what your needs are, and like Bear, you got to keep at it so that you can find the place where everybody's helping each other.
Yeah, listening is so important. Thank you so much for sharing that with us today. We have another video that we are going to explore together. It's our last one. It's about the tradition of Samhain. And Samhain is kind of like Day of the Dead. It's similar, where people gather to celebrate people who have passed, to remember their loved ones, but it's also a time to celebrate the changing of the seasons. And so it's kind of like a New Year celebration where people think about things that they want to let go of, and they bring in things that they want to do or that they're hopeful to do. So we are going to explore that together.
Samhain. We step into the long night waiting at winter's gate. Frost edges the cornfields, leaves wither in decay. Silence blankets the earth as even the crow's call begins to quieten. Trees shake their leaves free and stand bare-boned against the fading light. The fox knows it by its ancient name. She looks to the long nights ahead and curls up in the warmth of her den. We walk deeper into the void, the blackened abyss, the gentle caress of death. For death is a part of life, as natural and as pure as living. Samhain is an ancient celebration mentioned in Irish literature dating back to the 9th century, but likely has its roots a lot further back. Though unfortunately many original traditions have been lost or adapted by other religions along the years, we can still look to this time as our ancestors might have. We can gaze up at the milky moon and bid farewell to the flowers, welcoming in the dark half of the year and knowing that this is not the end. In fact, this is the Celtic New Year, the in-between time where the veil is thinner, where death kisses the land, vegetation falls back, and dead ancestors walk the earth with us. In this video, I wanted to share with you a few simple ways that you can celebrate the season. My pagan practice is always simple and rooted in nature. I rarely indulge in ornate rituals as it just doesn't really feel natural to me. Instead, I choose to walk the old path and be mindful within nature as she goes through her changes. I start every single seasonal celebration by taking a walk in nature. It's difficult to truly appreciate the changing of the land if you do not go out and experience it for yourself. And one of my favourite things to do is look for mushrooms. I'm continually amazed at the variety and uniqueness of mushrooms. When it's safe to do so, I love to just touch them and, to be honest, just marvel at the sheer strangeness of them. All the peculiarities of nature bring me so much joy. I also made sure to gather some things from outside so that I can decorate my home, including fallen leaves, pine cones, and other symbols of autumn. The first thing I wanted to do was create a space where Samhain was revered and autumn was celebrated, but I'm actually moving house very soon, so I did not want to decorate a whole room or more like I usually do, so I decided just to create a simple display on the kitchen table. On the table, I set out squash, pumpkin decor, leaves, candles, and other items. Squash and pumpkins are a symbol of the harvest, the leaves representing the death of nature and letting go of life, and the candles to allude to the fact that Samhain is a fire festival. As I see this display each day or share meals around the table, I can be reminded to think of the season. So as I mentioned, Samhain is traditionally a fire festival, a time of wood smoke and embers, of flame and release. So rather than creating an entire bonfire as my ancestors might have, I kept things simple by performing a small ritual intended to release the old year and welcome in the new. Firstly, I took a moment to reflect on the year gone by and write down some of the things I wanted to happen in the next year and some things I wanted to release. For the things I wanted to come true, I reflected on them a while and took them away inside this pumpkin, planting a small seed of intention for the coming year. And for the things I wanted to release, I had another method of dealing with them. I found a quiet space outside where I could breathe in the scent of autumn air and provide more ventilation. Recently, when visiting the magical town of Glastonbury, I picked up some incense, which is actually called Samhain and designed for this time of year. I sat for a while as it burned and enjoyed the scent of resin and wood chip, and then burnt the things I wanted to release and imagined them fading into the ether.
Like nature has a lot of wisdom to offer us when we are thinking about letting go of things from the past, maybe connecting deeper with some of those things and moving toward our future. These are really good things to think about today. I thought that maybe it would be good to not only talk about these things, but to create a ritual here in this space today. And it's important to not take things from other traditions or religions or faiths or practices that aren't a part of our culture, but we can make our own. So we're going to make our own ritual today. I'm going to let you guys shift back. I'm going to change. Great. So who got a leaf? Or not a leaf. My brain is thinking leaves because we just watched those beautiful leaves. Who got a flame today when they came in? You got a flame. Did anybody color it? Colored it red. Did anybody color it orange? Ooh, have some orange ones. All right. I see them. They're beautiful. All right. So rituals usually involve some sort of element of some kind. We're not going to make a fire here today. I think nature has created a lot of fires for itself recently, so that probably wouldn't be a good idea. But we have our paper flames with us today. So I invite you to hold the paper in your hand and imagine that it is warm like the warmth from a fire. And on one side, so you can hold it flat on your hand, on one side, I invite you to think deeply about kindness that you can offer yourself today, that warmth that you can bring into your heart. And then on the other side, I invite you to think of some kind of warmth or action or activity that you could do with someone else, friend or family member, when they are sad. One of the things that I learned when I was talking to people about things that we might share together today is that sometimes people feel sad and they want people to show up for them, but they don't know how to ask for it. And if we don't ever ask our friends, if we don't ever think about how we might show up for friends in that space, then when it happens, it can be hard to know what to do. So we have one side where we are remembering our warmth for ourselves, and we have the other side where we are sort of making a plan, making a goal for ourselves to do something that we'll already have in our minds if we have a friend or a family member who feels sad. Something that you can offer. So we're going to hold both of those, the warm sides of both, in our heart. And then we have a lot of people here today, so it would take us a long time to come up and put them individually in our cauldron here. So we're not going to actually put them there, but we are going to imagine them floating up, 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 up into the sky, those good intentions, that warmth for yourself, warmth for others, and imagine them floating all the way down into our cauldron. So those good intentions will rest there, but you get to take your flame home with you to remember these intentions that we set together today. In our cauldron of care, maybe we'll call it. Keep them there and you'll take them home with you. And most rituals have blessings, so I thought that we could create a blessing together today. So I am going to say some words, and then I'm going to put my hands out like this, and I invite you to speak whatever comes to you, whatever you think should fit there into this space out loud, okay? So let's try it together. Here we are, blessed by our connections to one another, the spirit of life, and reminded by our favorite element of to listen more often to things than to beings. Walk softly so that you may hear. Move slowly so that you can notice. Feel the breath in your lungs and the love one another and be a blessed be.
We will now say our covenant and extinguish our chalice. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Please rise and embody your spirit. To sing, love will guide us.
Go in peace and have a wonderful Sunday.